Women 2.0 is a media company, and we're focused at the intersection of women, entrepreneurship, and technology. How did it get started? It was a kind of a mistake. We weren't trying to start Women 2.0. It was something that we were doing out of passion. I had first moved to the Valley. I was working at a startup, and I met some other women who said, yeah, you know, one day we want to start a company, so we should create a network so that we can find each other, future founders. We should find our future investors and just create a network. And we started doing monthly meetups for many, many years. We just kept doing them because they were working well, and you know, people were enjoying them. And so we thought, okay, we'll just keep doing this. People are enjoying it. And you know, 5 years went by, and we kept doing them. And they went from meetups to workshops to conferences, and this sort of movement just started exploding a little bit on its own. And in our 5th year, we started to get requests for people to, you know, write on our website, which we had, and we were only using to announce our events at the time. And slowly we became a place where people were contributing, you know, content, and they were female founders, and they were saying, hey, well, I met my, you know, future, you know, investor while I was at a Women 2.0 event. I want to write about it. Or, you know, I met my founder at a networking event from Women 2.0, and I want to write about it. And we're like, okay. So things started to happen organically, and you know, now we're a real business. We have employees, and now we're in 19 cities around the world. So Women 2.0 does 3 things mostly. We have content online from female founders. They're writing their stories, they're sharing their lessons. It's very story-driven content about women in technology. Then we do networking events, and they happen every first Friday of the month. It's called Founder Friday. And now we're in 19 cities. So we're in the US, we're in Latin America, we're in Canada, we're in some parts of Europe, not Russia yet, hopefully soon. And then we do conferences, and the conferences are really important because it's a platform for women to showcase their work, for them to, you know, meet people in the network, for them to grow. And it happens every year, one in San Francisco, and one is a traveling conference, and we have about 1,000 people come to our San Francisco conference. So from humble beginnings of just an, you know, organic networking organization to a real media company is kind of unbelievable, and that in itself made me an entrepreneur because you know, I now have to run a P&L and I have to pay people, so it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, my start in the Valley was me moving to Canada, moving from Canada here, just with the passion to be in technology, and I did that and got the chance to work at a couple startups and started Women 2.0, and then also started through Women 2.0 our own incubator. And again, went through this entrepreneurial phase where I had nothing, but I wanted to build an incubator, so I did. And yeah, so it's been interesting. Yeah, with Women 2.0 is to grow, be in more cities, have more content, you know, just do more for women entrepreneurs in technology in whatever way that works for them. So, you know, we do a lot of trial and error, just like any startup. We test a product out. If people like it, we continue it. So we're going to do some tests in the next few months and see if people like it. We'll iterate and pivot and come up with new products that are relevant to entrepreneurs. I do advise a couple startups as well. So the incubator I mentioned that we started is really a pre-incubator. It was focused on people who just wanted to get started and didn't have co-founders. And so we have about 5 companies that came out of that incubator, and I advise about 3 of them actively. So I spend time with them and make sure they're surviving and growing and doing well. And of course, making sure Women 2.0 is continuing to grow is really the focus at the moment.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to be an entrepreneur. I really came to the Valley because I wanted to learn. And I wanted to learn about technology, and I wanted to learn what it was like to build technologies, which is why I joined 3 different startups. And this whole thing of Women 2.0 becoming a business was very unexpected, and you know, I never thought of myself as like wanting to be Mark Zuckerberg. And to this day, that's not who I want to be. You know, I am who I am, and it just kind of happened. You know, you start something you're passionate about, people show interest in it, you have to keep doing it, and when you keep doing it, you have to charge for it, because otherwise you can't survive. So it's a very organic process to get into this space. I'm really grateful because I do enjoy being an entrepreneur. I do, it fits my personality. I like to sort of create I like to be at the beginning of something. That's sort of where I thrive. I don't thrive in structured environments. I thrive in chaos. So I think it was a natural evolution as part of my life, I guess. Sure. It's a challenging situation. Many challenging situations. I was on the founding team of a startup back in 2008, and it was interesting. It was with founders who were non-technical, and my role was to build the product. And so they had already hired on a technical team that was based in Brazil, and my role was to design a product, be the product designer, be the product manager, and make sure the product actually launched on time. The founders were artists, so they had interesting expectations, didn't really understand how technology products are built and how they're launched. And then I had this remote team, and so it was always managing two different types of people for one goal, which is to launch the product. So I think there was a lot of reflection on my part of how to be a leader in that situation, to make sure our product launched but met everybody's expectations. So I had to over-communicate to the Brazilian team because, there's a gap in, we're not physically there together, language gap and all that. And with the artist founders, I had to really explain to them how long everything was going to take and to say, hey, we're building this feature. It's going to take us this long or longer with testing. Are you, and sort of really over-communicate and set expectations. So it was hard. It was really hard because I had two people yelling from two different sides. But we did launch. We were about a month late, but we did launch. But it was very, very interesting to work with people who haven't experienced the Silicon Valley way, and to really communicate it to them. So I had to really know my stuff. Sure. So I don't see it as an issue. I see it as an opportunity. I think what's happened historically is that women have just not been encouraged to go into technology entrepreneurship, engineering, which is the beginning steps of being in a tech entrepreneurial environment, or so people think so. So historically, it's just been set up that way. So where we are today is about letting people step into entrepreneurship in technology easily. And I think there's many advantages for women to be entrepreneurs. I think women are great at multitasking and great at communicating, which are the key points of a really small team, right? You have, so much to do and so little time and only so little people. So I think it's important that you multitask, and women are awesome at that. I think also in a small team you need a lot of communication. Women are awesome at that too. I think the other thing is, there are many things that people, two other things. So one is that, there is a market to understand the women consumer, right? And who's going to understand the women consumer better than women? Of course, women themselves. So I think when you think of technology, which is social media, social networking, social gaming, everyone, when you look across those three spheres, the number one user, buyer on those networks are women. Women play more games, women buy more online, women social network more, it's just incredible. So women are just poised to understand the consumer and build products, right? And it's not about building products for women by women, it's just about understanding the nuances of that, the customer and what products they may want. And that product may also work for a man, so it doesn't matter. And I think the other thing is with the technology piece of understanding, we're in a time where technology is a product, or technology is the platform for many products, right? And technology has traits that are feminine. Technology allows you to communicate, it allows you to collaborate, and it allows you to build communities. Well, those are three things, again, women are great at. So the features of technology are very much supportive of what women are good at. So I always say technology is feminine. So we should be, leading technology companies. We should be starting companies very, very easily. So I think it's just a no-brainer. It just has to happen. So the number, I don't know, at least I know I do this too. I think too much. And when you just think less and do more, it's the way to do it. Just close your eyes and just go, right? And I think as I get older, I think way too much, and I'm not doing the things I used to do. So I catch myself in that, and I tell other people, just think less, do more, because it's all about doing.